Hey guys, it's Ash.
And Christian.
And you're listening to
The Group Chat is Haunted. It has been a hot minute, guys. It has been a hot minute. So the last 3 months have been a struggle bus, and now we're both sick. So we're going to try our best here.
Hashtag struggle bus.
We have missed recording, that is for sure. So today is going to be a Found in the Chat Reddit edition, but we're starting a new series where we're going to go through all of the 50 states, starting with the A's. So today, Ashley's going to start us off with...
Alabama, baby.
Alabama, Arkansas. Okay.
I still can't believe you know that whole thing. I don't
Oh, the song? Yeah, I know.
This girl knows all of the states from a song from elementary school that I have no idea that existed.
Never heard of it before.
Never heard of it.
I
love it.
That's where they taught us. Okay, so what is your first one?
So I've got two different ones. So my first one, like I said, it was more of a place. It was kind of it reminded me of the Goatman's Bridge. I'm pretty sure it's along the same lines of it, but it's called Hell's Gate Bridge.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that is really neat. So
I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
Didn't either. Had no clue. And I was like, ooh, that looks fun. So Hell's Gate Bridge, also known as the Old Alton Bridge, historic iron truss bridge spanning over the Little River in rural northeastern Alabama. Built in the early 20th century, bridge has served as a vital transportation route for locals, connecting communities, facilities. Over time, it basically just got, you know how locals are. They take a whole thing and make it like the Goatman's Bridge. Like,
I don't know about the Goatman's Bridge.
They did a Ghost Adventures episode on it.
That might be one that I slept through. Hey, I watched it when I was pregnant, okay? So half the time I would turn it on and I'd get like 10 minutes through the episode and I'd fall asleep.
So you don't remember? Okay, so they go to the Goatman's Bridge and what's his name? Jay does like a circle and he does like the seance and he summons
under the bridge.
Yeah, under the bridge.
Yes.
Oh
and they did like an entire, yeah.
And then Aaron gets like attacked and he gets like shoved halfway across the thing. Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
That's,
I remember. I'm so bad with names. You have
to be fair. I do watch it almost every night. So one of the other one of the stories for this one is the story of the Crying Baby Bridge. According to this tale, a young mother, driven in madness by the hardships of rural life, threw her baby off the bridge into the river below, taking her own life as well. Visitors of the bridge claim they can hear the sound of a baby crying in the dead of night, echoing across the water, and a haunting reminder of the tragedy that actually occurred. So this lady just yeeted that little yeet. And then off herself.
So sad. Postpartum depression is real, you guys.
It's real. Well, that's no excuse for what's her name? Lila Rona that drowned her kids. And then now she's
but postpartum, I know.
I mean, to be fair.
It's such a double-edged sword because postpartum depression and all of that is so real.
Yeah.
And
for all of our
so hard to sometimes even realize that you're in it. And so, like, that case is hard to, like, determine. It's kind of find the line. Yeah.
I get that. And it is. It's sad because there's a lot of people that happens to. That's one of the spooky stories that happens on this one. And over the years, countless reports of paranormal activity have been documented at Hell's Gate Bridge. They say when you go up onto the bridge, you like look over your shoulder and you can see like the fiery gates of hell.
Oh.
And it's like a feeling of like you're legitimately in hell. And it's like some people claim that. I don't know how true that is. I don't want to know how true that is.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go there. But obviously, some people go and say they claim that they can look over their shoulder and they see the fire gates of hell. So, yeah. That was...
I'm speechless on that.
It's like this... sense of dread that these people get when they go there. They visit and people are like, oh yeah, let's go visit. And then they get there and they're just petrified.
Yeah.
Some people don't even go on the bridge.
It makes you wonder if more evil things have happened that like people don't know about that causes that.
It's got to be. There, maybe Jay went under the bridge.
Did a seance. Oh my goodness.
But other than that, despite its eerie reputation, Hell's Gate Bridge also holds a significant historical value. It's basically like the industrial age, I guess. It was a bridge that was a symbol of integrity and craftsmanship. It was built for people to cross for hundreds of reasons. But the main story that like people like to say is the one for the crying baby, because they can go there, they hear it, or they look over their shoulder and phew,
that's crazy.
Fire.
Well, going off children, because mine has something to do with children too,
no.
but it's very, very short. This person on Reddit says, it was 3 a.m. at Dead Children's Playground. There was no wind, no clouds in the sky. It was a full moon, and it was a bright and beautiful night. I start hearing children laughing off in the distance, and then the swings start to gently move by themselves. Then I hear something go down the slide, but there was nothing there. I was stone cold sober. Just some little ghost kiddos playing on the playground.
Stop.
But could you imagine hearing that at 3 a.m.?
No.
First of all, why are you sober in a playground at 3 a.m.?
Yeah. Who does that? I'm drunk in a playground at 3 a.m. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to go to a playground at 3 a.m. just because I can.
Yeah.
Oh, and the swing started moving?
Mm-hmm. And then heard someone go down the slide.
Gross.
All I picture is that, and then like in the background they have a little kid's voice like, ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies.
God, it gives me a stress rash.
That's literally what I picture in my head.
Something about children haunting thing. I mean, granted, we've had this conversation before. Children may not necessarily be children, so it makes it 10 times scarier.
It does.
So it's... Ew.
So I've got like a really, really long one right here that I sent you, and then this one
Did we pick
is the
one
one that's, does it have like story 1, story 2?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah.
Tall man. Okay, so we can just like we got the same story. Perfect.
I love it.
Okay, so do you want to read like the beginning of it down to story 1, and then I'll read story 2 and story 3, and then you can do the end, like the bonus?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. That's so funny that we chose the same one. I was like, this is awesome.
I know, me too. I didn't read the whole thing, but I saw it, and I was like, oh, this will be perfect.
This is perfect.
Okay,
cool.
So perfect. You can start off, and then I'll jump in at story 2.
Story 2, cool. Okay, so here we go. For a long time, I've been wanting to bring awareness to this house for a long time. Very repetitive, but that's okay. We love you. And today is the day I tell everyone about the house above hell. So there's a house here in Alabama that I believe is the worst home to own here due to the violent activity that takes place there. As you're expecting, I was one of the unlucky people to experience this. It hasn't been only me that has been through the paranormal activity from this house, but the others that have lived in the home have been affected by spirits that inhabit the home. I have 3 stories from me, my brother, and my mother. We all have lived in this home before and have since left, but memories that spirits have given us have never left. These will go in order that I showed earlier, and these stories are our most violent or our most active experience with many spirits that inhabit the home. I will not call the spirits by name, as I do not know their names, but I will also do no disrespect to them. As though the name I have gave the house is very accurate, they're not all that bad. These stories will have sort of a theme to them, as the spirits seem to like the top floor of the house more than the bottom floor. But the bottom floor was also where the most violent spirits were, so I understand why most would stay clear of them. For you who want a story for the spirits downstairs, don't worry, because my brother had an encounter with one of them. I'm sure you'll love to hear. Okay, so story 1, Tall Man. It was late at night and I just finished cleaning up the restroom. I was sleeping in the first bedroom closet to the stairs. Harry Potter? Is that you? I was the closest to the only restroom upstairs, so it was convenient for someone like me whose bladder is active at night. I turned to my door and turned the knob, but it didn't open, which was strange because the door didn't lock. There was only a small old-time keyhole that if you looked through, you'd be able to see into the room. Naturally, I looked through the keyhole to see what was blocking the door, but I didn't see anything, just the room, and nothing in front of the door. I push the door, and it opens immediately. I freeze. I'm overwhelmed with emotion as I stare into the corner next to the closet. Standing there is a man, dressed in all black and lacking face, just a black void. As I stare at him, I cry, and my knees start to shake. I become weak, and I blink, and then he's gone. I fall to my knees crying. The emotions were the most I've experienced in my entire life. To this day, I wonder why I was filled with such grief, who he was, why he showed up, and why did he showed himself to me in such a way.
That's creepy.
Like tall, black
Faceless
void
man. It's kind of like the book I'm reading right now, except he's sexy once you see his face.
Oh.
Okay, story 2.
I love that for you.
The little boy in the vent. Oh, why do I have to always get the kid ones?
Not a vent.
My brother stepped in the step. Neither one of us can read today. Wow. Let's restart. Story 2. The little boy in the vent. My brother slept in the second furthest room, and it was one of the smallest in the house. This room has small vents close to the door that haven't worked since the home was owned by my aunt. One night, my brother was awakened by sounds of knocking and whispering coming from the vents. Hell no. That was me, not the... Which vent on for a couple... which went...
We got this. We got this.
Which went on for a couple of minutes before he saw a pair of eyes staring at him from the vent. He described a feeling of understanding and felt bad before it disappeared, and he soon went to sleep. How the fuck did you go to sleep
after that?
This happened multiple nights before we moved out.
I bet it did.
There's no way I'd be able to sleep in that room if I hear like...
No. Especially with eyes in a vent.
Knocking, and then you look over and see eyes. Fuck no. Fuck no. No.
Again, trash.
No.
I would freak out.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Continue.
No, it's okay. It's just, anyways, that's creepy.
Story 3. The woman of the house. This spirit is one of the more violent spirits, and while this story doesn't show it, you shouldn't ever approach her without permission, as it's disrespectful. And my brother learned why, but this isn't that story. That is in the next one. This story happened in the master bedroom of the house and happened to my mother. It was late at night, and we had just moved in, and my mother just woke up from hearing a noise. When she opened her eyes, she saw a lady in a dress, and the bed felt like it was covered in water. Ew. She was too afraid to move, and it took what felt like an hour for the spirit to disappear and the feeling to fade. Oh. When we asked my aunt about this spirit, she said that she was happy to have some new company.
I bet she is. I mean, damn, you're stuck in a house for how long?
Yeah, but why would she make the bed feel like water?
Maybe she drowned somewhere in, like, the general vicinity.
That's creepy.
You know, because it's kind of like... Louisiana. So, like, the people that went through Hurricane Katrina, what's her name? The voodoo queen lady?
Yeah.
Her house is, like, when it flooded the basement, she said that she gets a lot of energy from the floods and stuff. Maybe it's kind of like that. Maybe she's lost. Like, she's just confused. Maybe she's confused.
Maybe.
Like
I don't know. All right.
3 a.m.
Yeah, it sounds like to me, it sounds like all of these ghosts are just like, who is this person in my house? Like,
why are you here?
Yeah.
I mean, the aunt clearly had the house for a good amount of time.
Ugh.
So, bonus story, making her mad. So I'm assuming they're talking about the woman in the house. I don't want to make her mad, but if it happens, I mean, unfortunately, here we are. So, This happened a few years ago with my aunt. She still lived in the home. This is the time we made the woman of the house mad. My brother was playing on his Xbox 360. The Xbox in the living room that we hooked up when we moved in, and while he was playing, he looked over and saw a figure. Shocking. Thinking it was our mother, he walked towards it. He looked up and saw her. Backing away, he curled up in a ball and started crying. Feeling as if he was being crushed, he started to scream out for our aunt. When me and her got down there, she was gone, and he was left there shaking and crying. Other times we have made her mad. She left us with scratch marks, bruises, as well as having trouble sleeping, nightmares, but I'm unsure if it's nightmares are because of her or not. I'm unsure if anyone owns the house at the moment, but all I know is that once you visit the house above hell, you're not a fan of the paranormal. You'll never want to return. But if the home isn't occupied in the time and you get the permission from the past owner, whoever's selling it at the moment, then feel free to visit.
I'm good.
No, absolutely not. I don't know if it's just because maybe it's rooted in something a lot darker than what this gentleman is leading on, because he probably doesn't know. He probably has no idea. But at the same time, it's kind of like, why would you want to live there?
What is going
on? Uh-oh.
It's making me download it for some reason.
What?
The one that I'm trying to read next. Maybe because I have other, like, Reddit pages open.
Oh, maybe. Maybe it's like a limit on how many you can have open at a time.
Okay, here we go. Good Lord.
No, I think it's because this one, there were so many errors within the story. I think that's what kept throwing us off.
I know. It was like the sentences were worded. I was thinking the same thing the whole time we were reading it. Okay. I know I have another short one, and I could have sworn that I screenshotted it.
You didn't send it to me?
No, because it was, like, so short.
Was it like one of those two-liners?
No, I mean, I literally can probably, like, quote it verbatim because it was so short. But the story was, she was sitting at a red light, and the light had turned green, and all of a sudden she was completely paralyzed. Like, she could not move, and she couldn't figure out why. And her baby was in the back seat, and she's, like, sitting there at the light screen, and she cannot move. And she says out of nowhere a car goes in front of her.
Like in a four-way.
Like, you're at a four-way, yeah, and the car goes in front of her, and she was like, it was going like 70 miles an hour and just like sped through. And then after the car went through the intersection, she was unparalyzed and she could move again to move the car. And she was like, I don't know what's creepier, the fact that I couldn't move from something like holding me back, or the feeling of knowing that if that didn't happen, I would have been in that intersection and I would have been T-boned and the car would have killed my baby.
Oh, absolutely. That was like divine intervention. Maybe it was like one of those spirits that like stops.
One of her angels was watching over her and her baby. Yeah. But like that one literally gave me the chills because that is one of my biggest fears with driving with him in the car with me. Like, anytime I'm at a light, like, I try to look both ways before going. Okay, I'm going to read this one if you're okay.
Oh, yeah.
With it, and then you can read next. Okay. Me and my buddy were riding home through the woods in Alabama. We were going down a rural patch of road on the old highway. We had been hunting that morning and didn't end up killing deer, so we decided to fish and grab some food. The morning hunt felt strange, as if I was being watched in the woods. I'm a police officer and a retired Marine, so I don't get spooked easy. A pack of wild dogs ran through where my stand was. I kept feeling that burning feeling of being watched. It prompted me to leave early. The dark woods of Alabama is a scary place. After the hunt, we fished at the pond and for a while before returning home. On the way home, we ran into something I have struggled with since that day. It was exactly 12 noon when we saw it. Before we get into the incident, you need to know some history about Baldwin Company, Alabama. It says CO, so I'm assuming that means company.
Probably. I would imagine.
The Battle of Blakely was fought along this particular highway. This battle was a bloody battle onslaught that occurred at the end of the Civil War and resulted in immense casualties. Now on to what happened. We were around mile marker 18, and to the right, there it was. On a grassy embankment in a curve in the road, just past an old bridge that we passed, stood a tall black horse with a rider wearing black armor. It had black gloves gripping the horn of the saddle with a sword sheathed. This dark rider was massive in figure and missing his head. You heard me right. He was a headless horseman. The horse was abnormally large and was darker than night. The rider stoically sat in his saddle, facing the road as if he were waiting on something as we drove past. Now, I don't spook easily, and my buddy doesn't believe in that kind of thing. As we passed the horseman, time seemed to slow down as I sucked in every single detail. I remember everything about it. My buddy also stared in disbelief as we seemed to glide past in the safety of the truck, like some sort of safari from hell.
Not the safari from hell.
Now, here's where it gets weird. So when we passed it, I looked back in the mirrors and poof, just like that, it was gone. This area was rural. The horseman could not have come from anywhere or be beheaded anywhere that fast. My friend told me shortly after that he didn't want to speak about it again. He was shaken up about it a lot. It wasn't until later that he recounted his story and we saw the same thing. All up until we passed the horseman. His account was that the horseman was on the left side of the road and slowly walked into the center of the road and disappeared. I saw him clear as day on the right side of the road. Has anyone else seen him? Please let me know.
I mean, I don't want to see him, so I'm not going to let you know, even if I do.
Okay, there's a little bit, it's not a part of the story, but there's a little bit down, like somebody commented and they commented back. So they were like, black armor, like that can't be the Civil War.
No.
And so the person, and there's more to it than that, but, you know, the person was like, the fact that it was near a Civil War battlefield may or may not have anything to do with this. After some pretty extensive research, mostly because the whole experience freaked me out so much, I found out that my experience is not at all isolated or rare. These figures are known as Dullahans, Dullahans. I think it's Irish folklore.
Oh.
They have also been found in many other cultures historically bearing a variety of names. I'm also not discounting that it may have been some dude who enjoys dressing up in a very realistic costume and riding around in the middle of nowhere. Either way, thanks for reading.
What? Oh, no. That is so weird. But it's kind of like Sleepy... So do you know the campgrounds up in Helen, Sleepy Hollow? It's like a campground you can go, and they say that you can see like a headless horseman that roams the campgrounds.
Well, I mean, isn't there a movie, Sleepy Hollow, that is like that?
Yeah, and then
it's literally the
farmer's market we went to, there's a Sleepy Hollow coffee vendor.
Yeah.
That's literally everywhere. It's like Salem for black cats. It's literally reoccurring.
Yeah.
But no, that's crazy. I don't know. Something about seeing somebody that's headless. I mean, if you're at Disney where they do the little Disney parade thing with the headless horseman, I'm cool with that. I'm all right with that. Because you know what? You got the Mickey lantern. I'm all right with that. However, if I'm going to see it on the highway in the middle of the night, absolutely not.
Well, it was the middle of the day. It was noon. Yeah. The thing for me that was so creepy was that the friend saw it on the left side of the road, walk through the road, but he saw it on the right side of the road once it got over there.
I wonder what the different, like what... Maybe it's like two different universes. Like maybe the road
splits. Two different dimensions.
Yeah, like it splits and you're like, okay, you're on this side and then one is on this side.
I don't know.
No, I'm okay. Thank you, though. See, this is why I won't go to Alabama. Something about Alabama just gives me that. I'm not saying hating on anybody that's from Alabama. Any of our listeners that's from Alabama, we love you. However, I'm not going to Alabama. There's nothing in Alabama for me. No, just no. I'm good. Thank you, though. Okay, so this one's on a thread. So I got a kick out of reading these. It's actually like the headline says the scariest thing I've ever seen or experienced in Alabama. And it's funny because it's a whole bunch of people that just comment on it. And I just kind of scrolled. Well, first of all, my favorite one is one of the very first ones. Finding a severed penis outside of a mobile gas station back in February. Somebody legitimately.
What? That's some like medieval shit.
There's no context whatsoever, but it's kind of like TikTok now where you see the people commenting.
Oh my god. Yeah, comments on TikTok are literally the best thing in the world nowadays.
It was just so funny. I couldn't help myself, but there is a good one that is on here. So, let me go. Oh, I found the one that you were talking about, the downtown Birmingham headed
Oh my
north.
god, that's literally the one that I had screenshotted. I
Hey,
am so dumb.
That's what we're here for. We're here together. It's been a long couple months. Okay? We've made it so far. So this one is short again. It's not super crazy, but in 2003, a buddy and I were backpacking in the Sipsey. I have no idea if that's accurate. And had set up camp in our favorite spot, way back in the secondary trail. We were a pretty good ways back there, at least 7 or 8 miles from the nearest trailhead. It was early spring, cold out, cold in the spring. Ugh. Anyways, and we hadn't seen a soul on the trail. After supper/shooting the shit, went to sleep in our tent. Sometime around midnight, it started to storm. Torrential rain, lightning. As a 17-year-old in a tent alone, in the storm alone, was scary. Then we heard an anvil. Like, the things that you hit on the metal.
This is one that I had that I had sent to you too. No, you're fine. Keep going.
I didn't realize you sent it to me. No.
Keep going.
Okay. I heard an it was hard, repeated, and abrasive. Sounded like a cartoon hammer on an anvil. Clear as day, over and over, every 3 to 5 seconds. And it echoed through the hills. It probably went on for 15 or 20 minutes. And only during the storm. It was the scariest thing either of us had ever experienced. We poked around with our headlamps after the storm cleared, but we found nothing. We were out there alone, and there's nothing out there nothing out there close enough or big enough to produce that big a sound that we know of at least.
I know, that one was so creepy.
Isn't that creepy? See, this is why, and people like to make fun of me because I don't like to be outside. I don't like outside activities. I'm just not an outside girl. Never have been, never will be. But, especially when it comes to, like, camping and stuff, even when I was a kid, I just didn't like it because stuff like that happens.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is my last one. Let me start off by saying that this is a true story that happened to me when I was about 13, and I'm 27 now. Whether you believe in it or not, it's up to you. My dad used to be a part of a small hunting club in Alabama, just a handful of guys we grew up with. Once a year, we would drive to a small town in Elba to camp for a few days and go hunting. There were a few different areas of land around the town that the club owned, and club members could go hunting there. One of these pieces of land was nicknamed the cemetery because, well, it had an old cemetery on it. Nothing really creepy about the cemetery, though. It was in the woods, and the graves were of a slave owner and the graves of his slaves. Now, in this area of the land, nicknamed the cemetery, there are 5 or 6 green fields. Basically, a cleared-out area where there are no trees, just grass, and a buck hut to hunt in. A buck hut is a tree house that you can sit in and wait for deer to walk out onto a green field. This particular evening, we were going to hunt on green field number 1, the plot directly behind the old cemetery. The evening started off normal enough. My dad parked the truck. We walked down to the trail to the buck hunt. We climbed up and started to wait and watch the woods. A little bit of time passes, and my dad tells me that he's going to go for a short walk and see if maybe he can see any deer on the trail. Keep in mind, I'm about 13 years old. Not a big deal. I've hunted by myself before, and I'm not afraid of being alone in the woods. Besides, it was still pretty light out. So I said, okay, and he climbed down. It was just me. My .32 caliber Marlin rifle, the grass field in front of me, and the dense woods around me. This is where things start to get strange. I sat there for a fucking eternity, or what felt like a fucking eternity, and it was almost twilight. My concern for my dad was growing because he was still not back yet. I was worried that maybe something had happened to him or maybe he got lost. However, he's an experienced hunter, and if he was lost, he would yell or fire off a shot, but the woods had been dead silent. I figured maybe he found a good spot that he wanted to hunt the twilight/dusk hour for the day because that's prime time for hunting. So, I focused my attention on the grass field in front of me, just watching, listening, and waiting for a deer to walk out in the field as the light of the day began to fade. Just then, across the field, I saw/heard some brush moving and breaking. The thought did cross my mind that it could be my dad, but I highly doubted it. No way it could be him. That would be incredibly dangerous and stupid.
Yeah.
I raised my rifle up, pulled back the hammer, and aimed it in the moving brush and patiently waited for what I had hoped was a deer to walk out. Then a girl floated out of the woods onto the grassy field. She was transparent white with long flowing dress and long white hair. She floated from one side of the field to the other and disappeared back into the woods. I watched her for a solid minute or two. I couldn't fucking believe my eyes. I was petrified. Now I wanted my dad back. A short time passed, and it's now pitch fucking black, and I'm still alone. My concern for my dad was turning into panic, but I was too afraid to yell or look for him in the pitch black woods where I just saw a fucking ghost. I sat there for hours, terrified and alone in the darkness. Thankfully, he finally returned. He acted as if it hadn't been that long at all. I asked him where the fuck he went, and he said that he went for a short walk up the trail, turned around, and came back. The timeline had made no sense. He was gone for hours. It was unlike him to leave me alone for that long. He was adamant that he had only been gone for 15 to 30 minutes. We walked down the trail and back to his truck. I couldn't get there fast enough. The whole experience still confuses me to this day. Was the ghost I saw an old slave or slave owner buried in the woods behind me? Something else entirely? Did my dad go through some time warp where time had sped up? I don't know. I never went hunting there again, and I don't plan on ever going back.
Oh.
I think that's my favorite one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
That's a really good one.
That's my favorite one. It had to have been a slave or the slave
Something like
owner's wife or something like that. It had to have been.
Well, there was a lot, even when I was like scrolling, it was funny because you saw, I mean, it's not funny. Nothing about it is funny. But there was a lot of like KKK references, and it was like a lot of people talking about that. And I was like, you know, that was obviously, we're in the southern states, but that was a big thing, you know, when it was out there. I mean, it's still out there, but it's like when it was more common to see those people. And it was talking about how people, you'd see them walk across like roads and fields, and you'd see these people with these coats and these, I'm like, I'm sorry, if I'm going to see that, again, there's a reason there's nothing in Alabama for me. That's just, there's nothing for me. Y'all can stay there. Or if you want to come live with us, that's cool. We got plenty of room, but just keep it over there. Don't bring it over here.
The only thing that I think about is the movie where it's like, I can't see shit out of this thing.
It's so true. Like, how do those people, like, I know they have like holes and stuff cut out of it, but do they know how goofy they look?
That's literally the only thing that I picture in my head.
Like, y'all look so special. I mean, granted, again, history is history. It'll be what it'll be, but it's just comical to me that those people walked around like that. Uh-huh. Like the South Park. I think there's a South Park episode of those, and I'm like, do these people know they're being mocked by Cartman? Do they know this? Do they know? But anyways, that was a lot of them. I didn't really want to get into that because I'm like, it's not really my thing. But I didn't have any others other than those.
Okay.
But I feel like Alabama's just one of those places you kind of have to search for. It's not like Savannah where you can go to little different houses and you have
Yeah.
the different stories. But I mean, obviously, it's just
Yeah.
it's just Alabama.
Well, guys, thanks for listening. We hope that you enjoyed a little bit of spookiness from Alabama.
Alabama.
I've missed this.
Yeah.
It's fun. And my child is still sleeping, so that's good.
He's still sleeping.
He's still sleeping. I don't know how to close this out, so we're just going to say stay spooky.
Stay curious.
And don't forget, the group chat is always listening.